thank you again for joining us. Always happy to have you here. Kind of a quiet week as far as comics have been going on. Yeah, I mean, comics still are being released, but no big events, at least on the four-color pages going on. Everything's been going on behind the scenes, especially a lot of shakeups going on over at DC. Some could be related to the Final Crisis event, and some might not. But Chuck Dixon just came out and really ripped Dan DiDio at DC. He got, well, basically let go. He's not going to be writing for them anymore in any capacity, he said. And wasn't too subtle in saying that he was having problems with Dan DiDio. There were a lot of folks within fandom that were having problems with Dan DiDio, but now it's leaking down to the pros. What do you think?
Well, we've talked, it seems like every week every time we do this, I should say, it's like not a time goes by where we don't complain about editorial at both companies. But it's surprising to me. I mean, DC Comics the editorial is really bad, but it's surprising to me that Dan DiDio is, of the two editor-in-chiefs, he's the one that's like really getting shit slung at him, and people are. I guess there's a thread asking for his resignation or his firing. Yeah. That I saw online, but I don't understand where that's coming from. I mean, there's a lot of bad editorial choices, but at the same time, it's like Joe Quesada ruined with his editorial decision. And his decision to write that Spider-Man One More Day thing.
Right.
I mean, he actually hands-on took the best character that Marvel has, and he just completely shat all over it and over 30 years of continuity. And he got some backlash for it, but like now no one's ever I mean, that thing is come and gone. And I mean, with all the bad shit going on in Secret, I mean, it just seems that over at Marvel there's a lot of bad things going on, but I don't know why everyone all of a sudden is complaining about like DC doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too, and I want to put a disclaimer there. All the bad editors at DC don't include Jan Jones. You rock, girl. But anyway, the worm has turned because Joe Quesada was getting a ton of criticism for a lot of stuff that was going on at Marvel, and now it seems like the pendulum has swung the other way in DC. And it's not only happening within fandom, but it's happening within the DC offices, too. Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe that's kind of overstating it. I mean, having one writer come out and rip Dan DiDio doesn't make the entire comic book industry. But
I think it's more telling because at the time that it's coming out, because last week we had Grant Morrison coming out and having to explain what the deal was with Final Crisis and why it didn't match up with Countdown or with Death of New Gods. And then you come out and he tells this side of the story, and that by not blaming anybody, it's obvious that it was really bad editorial management.
Bad editorial. And I actually went back and reread Final Crisis just to give it a fresh view after our last review of it, and we felt really underwhelmed by it. Final Crisis on its own is a pretty good book. I mean, it's okay if you're going into a mini and you want to be entertained, and just with the overall craftsmanship of it, it's pretty good. It just, again, with all the hype.
And I think that what's going to separate Final Crisis from Secret Invasion is that Final Crisis was obviously written to be its own miniseries.
Right.
Okay, it didn't have. I mean, Grant Morrison said he turned in a script for this thing. He was done like a year ago.
A year ago, yeah.
So all the stuff that's been going on, editors, it's been their faults for not trying to line everything up. But, I mean, coming into this, he hasn't set the groundwork down, except for some things in the Seven Soldiers minis, but not really anything big, like Secret Invasion, where you've had to read the last 3 years of Marvel books or Brian Michael Bendis books to get Secret Invasion.
Right.
And did you read Secret Invasion number 3?
Number 3? Yes.
Yeah. Where Nick Fury shows up at the end?
Yes, where Nick Fury shows up at the end.
Okay, now, here's again my problem that I'm having with Secret Invasion is like, if you didn't read Mighty Avengers, the last 2 issues...
You didn't get it.
You didn't get it. And in issue 4, is he going to re-explain everything that happened in the Mighty... I mean...
No, probably not.
Isn't that a big problem?
Yeah, that is a big problem. And they went and reissued that particular issue of
With-
Mighty Avengers with the interior art from the last
Yeah.
page of Secret
I'm
Invasion.
glad you brought that up because
Yeah.
I've been just ad nauseum ripping on the fact that Marvel is taking interior pages
Right.
from that comic and putting them on the cover. Now they're taking interior pages from a different comic.
Yeah, that's true.
It-
right.
right?
They've a completely different comic
Yeah.
to serve as cover artwork for yet
Now,
another
and I want to
book.
know, is Lionel Francis Yu getting paid for the page rate? And is he also getting paid for
cover
the
rate.
Yeah.
The cover rate, yeah.
Because that's, if not, that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Marvel's been doing. That's why they've been putting interior pages on covers so they don't have to pay someone to redo a cover.
Okay. So we're putting that out there for you folks, Marvel. You tell us, are you paying those artists the cover rate for taking their interior art, a splash page, and making it into a cover on another book? Because if you're not, then that's
pretty
patently
shady.
unfair. That's unfair.
I mean, they could. I mean, once they pay them for the page, for the
page
rate,
rate.
they have rights, so they can do whatever they want with it.
Right.
Obviously, I mean, but to put it on a cover of another comic, I mean, like 2 weeks later.
Right. And they did the same thing with the reissue of the Iron Man Jon Favreau Adi Granov book, Viva Las Vegas.
Right.
And they did the same thing.
They took
with
an interior page.
And made it a cover for the second
Yeah,
printing.
but I mean, the
issue
one for
but-
Mighty Avengers was just worse because they
Right.
took it from an entirely different comic
Right.
and they put it on the cover.
And I remember walking in to the shop, seeing that issue of Mighty Avengers there, and thinking it was the next issue.
follow-up.
And
Right.
Lori had to tell me, no, that's a reprint. That's a
Yeah.
reissue. So pretty shady. And of course, the word is that Secret Invasion is outselling Final Crisis
Yeah,
pretty
issue
much.
number 2 sold more than issue number 1, but I don't know if that's taken into account for reorders.
Reorders. So
I think initial
We'll see.
orders, I think that's what it is, but I know we've reordered Final Crisis more than 2 or 3 times here. So I'm wondering if, when all said and done, if reorders are going to catch up to it or not. I don't know.
Well, and I'll say this as for Secret Invasion, it finally got to issue 3 before things started really happening.
But they're still in the Savage Land, and what happened?
Oh yeah, but to me, I like how the Skrulls are invading New York of all places, and the Young Avengers have to fight them. I mean,
Yeah, but-
what the hell's going on? You
Well,
know?
but that's because they have a miniseries
Right.
of Runaways and Young
Young
Avengers.
Avengers.
So that's going to be 4 issues. So
I haven't even read that one.
that's the
Yeah.
beginning of that miniseries. So I
Oh.
bet you they're not even going to explore it in the next
Uh,
issue. It's going to just spin off into the miniseries.
Oh well, but needless to say, a lot of questionable editorial decisions being made both at Marvel and DC, and letting you guys know, we're getting frustrated with it. The fans are getting frustrated. Take it for what you will, but I think Jose and I, we're fans. We are people who, outside of working in the business or wanting to be a part of it, we're fans too. And if you think we're in the minority, then I'm afraid you might be missing an important signal, an important message to be gotten. So we're going to close this segment with that, and we'll see you in the next.